Hi everybody, here's a video to show you how to take through Design Space these new SVGs which enable you to cut little presentation boxes for mini sparkling wine bottles and the regular wine bottles. The sparkling wine ones are quite often a little bit bigger, they're wider and taller, and they hold around 200 millilitres, and the regular mini wine bottles are narrower and shorter and hold about 187. In this bundle you get 4 files, and so for each box you get a box which will cut in 2 pieces using the standard mat on 12 by 12 card, and another one which cuts in a single piece. And now for the mini wine bottle, if you're on an older machine you can squeeze that onto a standard mat because the Cricut won't check your mat size. But if you're on the newer machines you still can cut it on 12 by 12, but you will probably have to use a long mat. Excuse me. Okay, so let's bring them onto Design Space and we can see what we're talking about. Right, so I'll bring in, I think I only need to show, no, I'll show you them all because we'll talk about the paper that you're going to need. So what's this one? This is the mini wine bottle in 2 pieces. So we'll bring in the single piece one first. These are slightly easier to deal with. There's no ungrouping because it's just a single piece file. So there it is on the canvas. The first thing you've got to do is convert those lines that come in as cuts but which we actually want to be scores. And in my SVGs they always live in that first subgroup. Well, if there were more than one piece it would be a group. It's actually just one layer of lines that we're going to convert, but they're always in that second line in your layers panel. So you just click on that to select it. Go to your operations menu and choose score from the drop down menu, and you can see that they've been converted now. And then all we need to do is select absolutely everything on screen, and for me that's just the quickest way to do that is just to click at the top of the layers panel, and then we attach everything. It's dead simple. There's no one grouping of anything because it's just this single piece file. So if we hit make it, you can see that you can't select 12 by 12. And you might not expect to because I have given you the other file which will definitely cut from 12 by 12. But if we look at the size of this, you can see that it's 21 centimetres wide, which obviously is well within the width of a 12 by 12, and it's 29.4 centimetres long. Now a 12 by 12 is 30.5, so we've got about 9 millimetres to play with there. So I've got old machines, I have Explorer 2s and the original maker. I will put a piece of 12 by 12 on a standard mat and I'll be able to cut this box that way. But I think if you're on the newer machines, what you're going to have to do is you can still use 12 by 12 card. Just drop it down from that very first line if you're concerned at all, just a couple of millimeters, and then it'll definitely fit on at the bottom. But actually I think it will anyway. But I think because those newer machines, this is what I've been told, I don't know, but I think because the newer machines check your mat size, and because Design Space thinks this won't cut from 12 by 12 when actually it will, we're just stealing a little bit of the cutting margin, you will have to use the long mat, I think. But you can still use 12 by 12 card. But those of us who are still using our trusty old machines, we can use a standard mat and a piece of 12 by 12. Right, so I'll cancel, I'm not going to cut it. And I'll get rid of that. And now I'll bring in the 2-piece one. And this is just, the 2-piece version just means that that tall lid has been lopped off and placed to the side. So if we look at the size of this, you can see it's 23.3 by 27.92. In that format, it just fits on one sheet of 12 by 12 perfectly. Now that the scores are a little bit different to deal with here because it's a multi-piece file. So again, you're going to click on that first subgroup. It's the second line down in your layers panel, and just clicking on the name of that group, you can see it's a group, so I can toggle it open and closed. Just clicking on the name of it selects everything in it. Again, over to your operations menu, choose score from the drop down, and the lines get converted. But now, because there's more than one set there, we have to ungroup them. Then we're going to select the group that's got all the cut pieces in it, the main body and the lid, and here we just need to ungroup. I'm on the PC desktop version for PC, so ungroup is at the top of my layers panel. and then a final third ungroup of absolutely everything on screen. So I'm clicking at the top of the layers panel to select everything, but you could also use this select all button, and you can also just drag a box like that. However you do it, when everything's selected, ungroup that third time. So now we can attach the scores to the individual pieces that they're in. In fact, you know what? I would normally do that. We're not going to, because I know this whole thing will fit on a 12 by 12 exactly like that. And this piece, sadly, yeah, it's just, I think you might get that from letter though, mightn't you? Right, so just for now, let's pretend we're all working 12 by 12 on the standard mat. So we're just going to attach it all together. We can see that we can choose 12 by 12. Yeah, do you know what? I used to have the US paper sizes written on my wall, and I can't remember what they are now. But I think you might be able to cut that from letter. Anyway, if you can, and if you were going to do that, then you wouldn't attach them all like that. You'd just do the big piece and you'd attach it, and we'll get that out of the way so we can get to the small piece. And then you'd do that, and then let's go and see if it'll let us choose letter. I don't think it will. Because letter, I think, is 279 long, but I can't remember how wide it is. Do you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to get that stuck back up on my wall so I can speak more knowledgeably like I used to. I've just moved house, which is why everything's a bit chaotic, and I don't know where I don't know where my bit of paper is. I don't know which box it's in. Yeah, I'm not. No, I don't think you would. I mean, look at it. You'd still need two sheets, wouldn't you? Yeah. Forget that. Let's just assume we're all working on 12 by 12, and you're just going to attach it in the layout it comes in and use one sheet of 12 by 12 to make it. Right, so that one was the mini wine bottle, not the sparkling one. That was the box for the mini bottle that has about 187 millilitres of regular wine in it. So now I'll bring in the single piece sparkling wine box. This is a slightly bigger box because quite often these are slightly bigger bottles. They hold about 200 millilitres. So exactly the same as the other one. This is a single piece file. So you're just going to click on that second line in your layers panel. We've only got one set of scores here. Go to your operations menu, choose score, and then because it's a single piece file, all we need to do is select absolutely everything on screen and attach it. And now this one, yeah, definitely need the long mat and A3 or tabloid. It would fit on either. So depending on whereabouts you are in the world and what card you can get hold of, you need the long mat and either A3 or tabloid for that sparkling wine bottle single piece box. I'm not going to make it, so I'll press cancel. And now I'll bring in the two-piece version of that one, and again it's just that the little tuck-in lid has been lopped off and popped to the side. So again, the score lines, click on that second line down in your layers panel. That's the name of the group that holds all the score. Now, goodness me, the group that holds all the lines that we need to convert to scores. It's boiling hot here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but we're having a bit of a weird September heat wave here, and it's been a hot day today. Over to your operations menu, click on basic cut, down to score, and there they are converted. And again, because this is a two-piece, it's a multi-piece file, we need to ungroup it. So top of the layers panel there. Then we're going to select that next group, which contains all the cut pieces, and ungroup it. And then select everything on canvas and ungroup it a third time. So now everything is a single piece. You can see if I move it, the scores will move off on their own. So we're just going to select that piece and its scores and attach. And here, attach the main box body as well. Yeah. So now we can select 12 by 12. Unfortunately, the lid won't cut on the same sheet, obviously, even when it's popped off to the side. It's just too big, this box. So, you know, maybe if you're making, I don't know, half a dozen at a time, you'll cut all your lids from the same sheet and your other boxes from another 6 sheets of card. But nonetheless, that's how you would have to do it. Again with that one, How wide? Do you know what? I'm just gonna see if I can Google it. How wide is US letter size? Well, 8.5 inches is no good to me, is it? 215, 215.9. No miles away. I don't know what I'm blithering on about. Yeah, it's got to be 12 by 12. And your lid is off on its own, so, you know, to be economical, either cut that from a scrap, you could do your lid in a contrasting colour, I guess, or cut a few at once and then you're not wasting that sheet of paper. Okay, I think that's it. If you've got any questions when you come to cut or assemble it, don't hesitate to get in touch. You do get a PDF of instructions for assembly with lots of photographs to show you how to do it. But if you do get stuck, don't hesitate to get in touch. You can get in touch via Etsy or Facebook, whichever you prefer. The links to do that are in the description below. And if you just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description below. This is the first video I've made in a long time, and I think I'm a bit out of practice, don't you? Never mind, we'll get there. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.